first I'm gonna give my take on this. I think the queen deuce suited here for Prodigy is close, 150 BB deep. I think 4-betting is on the table, folding is on the table too. He calls. It's a pretty good board for Linus. He should c-bet a lot with his range, I think. And definitely with his hands, of course, perfect to c-bet. Half pot with. Prodigy does have an easy call on the flop. Of course, Linus just wants to bet again with his hand. And on the turn, I think Prodigy should pretty much always call as well. So again, this hand is played pretty straightforward on both sides, on flop and turn at least. Then the river can and should Linus check with this hand sometimes. I don't know, he should definitely mostly bet. Maybe there's a little bit of check with it. But no, I think this is pretty straightforward betting hand. King is still a relatively good card. Linus is gonna have a lot of smaller sizes, I think, in this position as well. But of course his hand, you know, with his hand obviously he can shove. But he should have a bunch of smaller sizings as well there. Now the call that Prodigy made here, I really doubt it. I mean, the deuce doesn't really do anything for him. The queen probably blocks a bunch of Linus's bluffs. This is probably just gonna be a pure fold. Is what I think. The blockers just aren't great. Linus is never gonna have deuce or king deuce or deuce 3. Yeah, so I don't think this call is good at all. It's probably minus EV. But let's take a look. Okay, so we see here right off the bat, I said we can go all 3 options with the queen deuce, but it's actually not gonna be a fold to this small sizing. They're deep. It's still a pretty good, you know, pretty high up suited hand, so to say. So the queen high flush and flush draw isn't that bad. But it's indeed a 4-bet candidate, but fold is out of the question here. To this smaller size, I'm pretty sure to a bigger size we start folding. But yeah, the size is definitely small enough that Prodigy can definitely call here. And it is indeed a very good 4-betting candidate. Now, it's indeed a very high frequency c-bet board for Linus. He bet 10 BB instead of 8 BB. And so that decreases the betting frequency from 81.6 to 73.9. He still gets to bet a whole lot. And his hand is indeed, like I suspected, a very high frequency bet. Indeed, a sliver of check. And that's just to balance out sort of the rest of the checking range. Just to sort of have it in your range, you know, even though it's a very good betting hand. Of course, the queen deuce is a very easy call. Okay, so on the turn, we're gonna quickly change the sizing to 28.8. And indeed, like I suspected, this hand pretty much just wants to bet. Queen deuce, indeed, is still way too good. Like any pair, I mean, except for the pocket pairs right here. Other than that, any pair is just good enough to call. Now to the river, and the spot where this whole video is about. Yeah, so like I suspected, there's gonna be a bunch of small betting and then a couple shoves here. We see actually that, yeah, Linus' hand is strong enough to shove. It does so a little bit of the time. The EVs are pretty close. But like I thought, like, it's a pretty... the river for Linus is really a spot where he gets to bet small for quite a lot. Because he still has a lot of kings. He has a lot of hands that cannot shove. If you take a look at the ranges tab, the flushes, we see that Prodigy actually has a flush advantage. So Linus should be very careful of that. So you see the green line in the higher equity region, pretty far above Linus's light blue line here. But then here, Linus has a range advantage in sort of this middling region, which is of course all these king eggs. We see, for instance, let's see, top pair, Linus has way more kings. Got the overpair, more sets. So yeah, Linus has to be afraid, but careful about Prodigy's flushes. So he just has to be careful about it and cannot shove that much. He doesn't have this nut advantage, but he does have this sort of range advantage, which allows him to bet small a lot with, all the way up to 9x. Even like the lowest is like 9.5. He gets to bet, what is this? 25% with 9.5. What do I say? Actually 7. 7s are betting like that too. That's really, really low. See, so he gets to bet really, really, mediocre mid pairs and whatnot. All supported by these stronger top pair type hands. And of course he gets to do this with his flushes as well. And, maybe he wants to support all these hands with his flushes. So yeah, like if he's only shoving his flushes and then bets like this with his top pair type hands and whatnot, he becomes probably a little bit too unbalanced, and it's probably not a good idea. His flushes should probably support the rest of his range that is betting the river by betting small as well, is what I get out of this. But of course he gets to shove with a bunch of flushes. And 9-6, yeah, it's blocking the 9, or yeah, it's probably right. It is blocking a bunch of 9, like ace 9 for instance, or jack 9 or 10-9 with the 9 of hearts. He's blocking that. That's his call. So if he shoves, yeah, a lot of these hands are actually calling. The ace 9 is pretty much pure calling. 10-9, jack 9. And so, yeah, that's a pretty decent part of his calling range. We got the 9-8. And so, yeah, he wants to unblock those with his shoves, with his flush, with his value shoves that are flushes. He probably just wants to unblock those. And then when he blocks those with the 9-6, right? The 9-6, that's probably a good reason to go small with the 9-6 and use other flushes to shove. That said, it's pretty close in EV for Linus. So yeah, it's not all that bad. But now let's get to Prodigy. Let's quit my rambling here and let's get to Prodigy, to the shove. The Queen Deuce, I still doubt it. It's probably either pure fold or very high frequency fold. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, I guess Linus does have some pocket deuces in his range. Apparently, deep as they are and for the small sizing, but deuces is usually not a 3-bet, let's say 100 BB, as far as I know. I guess, yeah, Linus should have deuces in his range. King deuce, let's see if king deuce is also, yeah, no, king deuce not, but he does have deuces in his range. And perhaps, yeah, the queen is probably not blocking his bluff shoves all that often at all. You don't see the queen jack, and it's taking a look at it. The queen of diamonds, right? The queen of diamonds is really not blocking his bluffs at all. And, his bluff shoves really come from hands that, at least have a heart in them. As we can see right here, the 8-6 and the jack 8 with the heart. These 6-5s right here, maybe an ace 5 with a heart. So no queen of diamonds at all. So I was super wrong in my assessment earlier. In that indeed, Linus should have, technically here in GTO, have pocket deuces in his 3-bet range. And he's not blocking any bluffs. So yeah, it actually does make for an excellent call. I was super wrong again in my own assessment. Maybe I should stop doing that and just get right into the solve. Let me know if you want that for these kinds of videos. It's very easy to get things wrong. GTO is so difficult to learn. I thought Linus wouldn't have any deuces, and that the queen potentially could block some bluffs. So yeah, the blockers are actually really excellent for Prodigy, even though I thought they were awful. So that is that for this video. Yeah, please forgive me for being wrong in my assessment. Let me know if I should cut that out, because you know, I'm just not as good as them. Maybe we should just let them play and get right into the solver output. So let me know about that. And I hope you still like this video, and hope to see you in the next one. Thanks.